Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes Reacts. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke. I wasn't ready then. I totally wasn't ready. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Yeah, we're keeping that.
I was thinking of something else in my head.
Collectively, we are
The Office Blokes.
Yeah, there you go. We've got a couple of other YouTube channels. We've got a Try channel. We have a podcast channel, Patreon, merch, social media, all that good stuff. Link in the description. It'll take you everywhere you need to go.
Linktree.
Linktree.
Yeah, it's good that as well.
As you can see, Office Bloke Mike is sporting some of our new merch.
There we go.
You look fresh, Mike.
Looks pretty good,
You
doesn't it?
look fresh.
Yeah, looks good. Decent material, that,
Yeah,
actually.
it's
I'm
that,
not just saying it, but it actually is. Yeah, it's
Good
nice.
fit as well. So
Great
yeah.
fit. Yeah,
It's got perfect colour match as well with the silver and the silver.
yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
On there.
No, it's
Matched
not
it
thrown
well.
together, you know. It's
Yeah.
all thought out. This is, you know.
If you do take the plunge and buy some, please tag us in social media. Let us see and let us share.
You know you want some of that. Look at that.
Can't
Anyway.
beat it. It's good.
So, American things Europeans find weird. Any
think.
guesses?
No.
No.
I guess like family relationships in the South.
Oh, you're not wearing your Houston Astros hat.
As the views plummet on this video.
That's right, people start arguing in the comment section. I think that American culture permeates culture in so much of the world that I can't see there being that many things we find weird, because you grow up watching Friends and, you know, Seinfeld, and you know, like,
Serious things like the gun culture you might find a bit weird.
I wouldn't say it's weird.
there's a lot of gun culture around the rest of the world, and there
Yeah,
is
I
gun
suppose
culture
so.
in this country.
Russia.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of things, but
Yeah.
The only thing I can think what people might think weird is where they have like cups of coffee that are like this, like the size of a bucket.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
bit
the
weird.
portion
'Cause
sizes,
we have
mate,
like we'll have
yeah.
like a little cup about this big. Don't know.
And then you go to Italy and they've got a little
Little
cup that
cup,
big.
yeah.
I guess we'll find out then. American things Europeans find weird. Let's do it.
If you've ever seen Quentin Tarantino's hit movie Pulp Fiction, you'll know it opens with a scene in which Samuel Jackson shows his surprise regarding the legality of cannabis smoking in Holland and the fact that the French eat their fries with mayonnaise. Ugh, is his reaction to the use of such a condiment. Well, we can tell you ugh works both ways, and there are plenty of things Americans eat, do, believe, and say that Europeans find plain weird. Today, we'll look at some of those things. In this episode of the Infographic Show, American Things Europeans Find Weird. Don't forget.
I'm all for mayo on chips.
with chips.
Nah, ketchup, mate.
Ketchup.
They do that in Holland. When I used to live in Holland, it was mayo, and I used to go.
Yeah. I get English mustard and mayo, mix it together with a chip.
Ketchup.
Yeah, not for me. Ketchup.
Hit the subscribe and click the bell button so that you can be part of our notification squad. We'll stay with food and restaurants for the time being. As we've discussed in other shows, not everyone in the world is so draconian about tipping. In fact, in some parts of Europe, throwing a buck on the counter after receiving a cold beer would be totally insulting. In many European countries, tipping in some situations can be seen as charity. When visiting the US, many Europeans might find it weird that a waiter or waitress keeps coming back to your table. In the States, it may be seen as just good service, but to some Europeans, it could be construed as someone getting in the way of a good meal. That meal, by the way, could be about 3 times larger than many people in Europe are used to. In general, American food portions look to some Europeans like they are supposed to feed 2 people. It may also seem like an act of largesse to some Europeans when someone keeps refilling their glass of soda or cup of coffee for no extra cost. In terms of the food itself, as we noted earlier, Americans and Europeans have very different ideas about what goes with what. Pancakes for breakfast with fried chicken? Are you kidding me? Says the traveling European. And what about putting honey on bacon for breakfast? The Frenchman wanted mustard with his sliced beef and tasted something not like mustard but a sweeter version with less bite. The Italian went to Chicago and in one restaurant ordered a pizza only to be served what he thought looked more like a quiche or a cake. So, what about when Europeans head to the store? Again, the rather affable smile and general friendliness of staff may seem strange to someone from grumpy England, where service with a smile is certainly no guarantee.
How dare you? Grumpy England. We were in the news described as 3 grumpy blokes, weren't we, over here?
No, we were. Yeah.
Do you know what gets me on
Outrageous.
this though is if I go in a restaurant and the guy keeps coming up and filling me up with my wine, I kind of expect it and I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I know people who won't pour their own wine. If the guy's not, if I'm running out and I need a refill and no one's there, I'm pouring it.
Oh, yeah.
But as soon as I do it, in some of the restaurants, I go in, the guy comes running over, he's like, I've got it. But they're like
Oh, do
usually
they?
like Italian restaurants or
Yeah.
French. or
Right,
whatever.
okay.
But no, not like you can get it in the pub.
Weatherspoons.
Yeah, no chance.
You don't
there.
get served at the bar in there.
No.
Yeah.
fact, it's been remarked that American friendliness can result in some Europeans thinking something suspicious is afoot. If that European is in the store to buy a pack of cigarettes or a bottle of wine, they may be extremely surprised when they get asked for ID, as that might not have happened to them for over a decade or two. On top of Europe mainly having laxer laws on age restrictions, IDing people is not such a big deal as it is in America. Only in July this year, Oasis frontman Liam Gallagher said he was ID'd in the US after trying to buy cigarettes. He tweeted, "I've just been told I can't buy cigs unless I got ID. I'm 40 has the world gone mad?" Indeed, in his home city of Manchester, he'd probably been buying his smokes for 30 years without a problem. And then the European looks inside his or her wallet, only to see a bunch of notes that all look the same, all the time wondering how this could possibly make any sense. The good thing is, in America, you can pay with plastic just about anywhere, which is something many Europeans are still not used to. They may also be...
Wait a minute. How old's this video?
I was just going to say, how old's the video?
A lot of places don't take cash anymore.
Yeah, true.
Unless you offer it. To say they don't take cash, and you say, prefer cash, and you go, if you got it, yeah.
Yeah, back in the pocket.
Yeah. I think the age thing is a bit of a thing, though, isn't it? I mean, if Liam Gallagher's been asked for ID, I mean, is that going a bit far?
I think it's a legal requirement.
Yeah.
Oh, they
Yes,
have
as
to ask
opposed to-
everyone.
yeah.
Ah,
It's not that if
fair
you've
enough.
sold cigarettes and you've not ID'd someone, and there's someone who's, I can't remember what it was in the pub. If you're in the pub and you don't have ID or something like that, then the pub gets in trouble.
Yeah, which they do over
Fair
here.
enough.
It's hefty fines over here, but you've got to show a little bit of discretion. Liam Gallagher walks into
No, I don't
buy
think it's
some
an age.
cigs
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's an age thing. It's a requirement.
for everyone.
Yeah.
I think over here, don't we have is it like a 25 or 21 age thing where they tend to ask you if
25.
you look below
25.
25. I think that's a bit more sensible, isn't it? Stop wasting time. If you look like 30, 40, 50 years old, I mean, it's just...
If you look 25 and you're not old enough to drink or buy cigs, I think you deserve to buy them.
Yeah.
You've done all that growing. You're big and strong. You're as big as a 25-year-old. Fair play.
pleasantly surprised to find out when they do buy something, taxes get added on top of the price they saw. So they try and get back to their hotel, but have to ask the way. They are told to walk 6 blocks this way and turn left. Only for some Europeans not familiar with the US, giving someone directions using blocks may seem weird. Parts of Europe were not built with city blocks in mind and just gradually spread in a way that makes it hard to find your way around. When they finally do get back, they settle down to watch some TV, only for some reason the shows are interspersed with commercials that seem to be longer than the actual minutes given to the actual content.
That drove me mad when I was in America.
What's that? Ads?
Watching Family Guy and things like that, and you'd have the introduction, like, you know, the beginning credits, then it'd go to adverts.
Yeah.
Then I think there was a couple of segments of adverts throughout the episode. Then at the end of the episode there'd be adverts again, and then after the adverts it'd be the end credits. And I was watching it like, what is the point?
Money.
Money.
Well, I know that, but I'd rather they made the actual adverts longer after it and just run the end credits and then have an extra minute of adverts, just dispersing it in between programs.
So is it like in all programs then?
I didn't watch loads of stuff, to be fair, but things I watched, and then the disclaimers on the medical adverts were crazy. Where someone talks a million miles an hour, like, may make you bleed out your eyeballs, you may diarrhea to death.
This drives some Europeans crazy. At some point, they might come across World Wrestling Entertainment and be quite confused at how some Americans can get so worked up about what to them looks like an act with an ending already scripted. You may have to be an American to enjoy that kind of drama with such passion. Turn over to the news, and depending on the channel, this may also look something like a drama or a soap opera to a European. They may easily believe they are watching a news satire. One of the great things in America, though, for some Europeans at least, is the fact that some things are open 24/7. Can't sleep? Just go out. Shopping hours are relatively quite restrictive in many European nations, but in most places in the US or near a big city, there is always something to do or buy in the middle of the night. In Europe, the BBC reported that London, England, and 6 cities in Spain were the better 24-hour cities. Now we'll visit the sensitive issues of religion and patriotism. World Atlas puts America at the top of the list as the most Christian nation in the world. In the US, on any given day, you might hear the word God or at least see signs pointing to where you might find him. While parts of Europe are also predominantly Christian, the omnipresence of God in the streets may seem a little overbearing to many of these nations that have foregone church duty. It's the same with flags everywhere. You won't go far in America without seeing the stars and stripes, whereas in Europe, flags are usually designated to the top of poles outside of official buildings. Seeing one planted in a garden may induce a traveling European to believe that he is at the house of a hardcore nationalist, not just someone who is proud of where he comes from. Interesting side note, a 2014 survey revealed the most patriotic country in the world was Thailand, closely followed by the USA. While it may not seem too weird for Europeans, the fact that some people in the States carry firearms might be scary. Per capita, more people in the States own guns than any other country. While most cops in Europe do carry guns, it's unusual to see a cop in England, Scotland, or Wales carrying a gun. The fact that regular Joes might be carrying a firearm seems fairly weird to many Europeans. It might not seem so strange to Serbians, who also have a high rate of guns owned per person. Size also matters to Europeans when traveling in the States. In America, everything just seems bigger, and not just the aforementioned dishes. The roads and streets seem larger for the most part, and if you don't have a car, it can seem hard to get anywhere, especially in a place like LA. The cars themselves seem a lot bigger, large enough to crush Mr. Bean in his Mini, and the people inside them also seem big on average, if not taller, then wider on average. The skyscrapers are taller, and in general, American houses statistically have a lot more space than the average European house. One survey stated that the Danish had the most living space in Europe, still much less than Americans, but much more than the Brits, that to Americans might seem their whole house is smaller than their basement. It may not be that weird, but one might ask why everything is so big in the US. As for appearance, some Europeans may find the amount of Americans that are continually decked in what looks like gym wear a bit strange, as most are not going to the gym. Other styles that are mostly an 80s thing but seem to have stayed around a little are the big hairstyles on some older American women. Big lips and big breasts may also be a fashion weird to some Europeans, while in the USA the president...
They don't have big boobs in Europe, apparently.
They don't.
No, because it'd be weird for Europeans going to America going, have they big boobs? Never seen big boobs before.
Biggest massive pair of tits I've seen is you two.
Waiting for that.
Yeah, just fed him that one day, didn't you? Yeah. He's coming all day long, that
We're OB cups.
Yeah.
still seems to sport a fake tan. On the positive side, Americans all seem to have such perfect white teeth, quite different from those Brits. This was hilariously depicted in an episode of The Simpsons in which the Big Book of British Smiles horrifically demonstrated the apparent lack of dental hygiene in the country. So, what do you Europeans out there find strange about Americans? And Americans, what do you think is weird about Europeans? Let us know in the comments.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think the teeth one is a bit outdated. People generally have
I think
pretty
it probably
good
is
teeth
these
in this
days.
country.
Yeah, I think so.
But especially, kids at school now, I mean, they all have braces, don't they? They're all absolutely perfect teeth these days, I think, don't they? So
I blame Austin Powers for it.
Oh, yeah.
He had
Why would
terrible
he do
teeth.
it?
He had some dodgy ones.
Not allowed to talk about it.
So your teacher at school?
He was, yeah. Yeah, definitely some good ones there. I think some of it is preconceptions, though. A little bit.
Yeah, I think
A
so.
lot of it I don't find weird, I just think it's normal.
Well, they've got more space per person, so you'd think there'd be a bigger house because you've got loads of land. Land's probably cheaper in the States than it is over here. It's a bit of a premium here, isn't it?
I think a lot of our cities, towns, whatever, were built so long ago as well that the roads aren't as wide, aren't as big as they should be, and buildings are a lot smaller, less space to go at, so houses are smaller. Just that's just the way it is, isn't it? Smaller
If you task our government or our councils with building a large road, not only will it take them about 400 years, right? It'll probably never get done, and then by the time it does get done, it'll be ruined by potholes and shit anyway. So it won't be worth it.
Man,
They'll use a private company.
Just use a little bit. Let's do little bits at a time.
Yeah,
they use a private company to build it, who go out of business halfway through and take all the money. That's classic.
Weird.
Isn't it?
But even now you see new estates coming up. They're still very small houses, and not a lot of garden space and stuff.
We don't get big gardens in this country unless you spend proper money. Really.
Yeah. But it's,
fair enough. Yeah.
Not weird at all for me. But hope you guys like that too. Don't forget like and subscribe. Hit the bell, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers. Guys.